Hey, 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 hey. Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to It's Time to Go Retro, the 2022 edition. So excited to be doing this, and something I've wanted to do this topic for quite some time now, and over the holidays, it was perfect. The interest was there. I could tell by everything else going on that it was time to unleash the celebration of Adam Sandler. So welcome everybody in. Thank you for joining us this evening. Pierce, easy Pierce, easy. We might have to hold Pierce down a little bit. Coaster Mom, what's up? Coach and Triton, how's it going? Triton going to try and catch up some ground in the games, I'm sure. Dallas, how's it going? Welcome in, stupid game. Yeah, tonight is a night for redemption, my friend. Tonight is a night for redemption. Tiffany, how's it going? MJ, what's up? All right, so here we go. Tonight, as I mentioned off the top, it is a night of celebration. It is the night of Sandler. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, Sam, there's a whole lot of Sandler to go around. How are you going to do this? Well, we're going to do it into a couple different segments. I want to look at his history of work, his work entirety. We're not going to get too much into his soundtracks and his writing credits and his producing credits. I want to look at his films. I want to look at his characters. I want to look at his quotes, because so many of the different things that Sandler has done has touched us in different ways. And so I want to make sure we cover everything for everybody. Now, first couple things off the bat, of course, I wouldn't be a YouTuber if I didn't do the whole shtick. So make sure you're hitting the like as you come in. Make sure if you're here, Ninja, and you haven't subscribed, please do click that subscription button. We are on our path to 500. I can't believe I'm actually saying that because it's so surreal. But definitely hit the subscription button. And of course, if you know anyone else that's interested in any of the stuff we do or just interested in tonight, share it out. Tell them to come on in. Of course, not only are we here on YouTube, but I wanted to take this time and just flash up. There's our other social media that we're out there. So you can follow myself or D on Instagram, SamuelB12, of course, or DinaB23. And on TikTok, you can find me at SamuelB12. I don't post too much on TikTok, but trying to grow that as well. So you can find us at those places. And of course, most importantly, if you have read or heard of The Puppy Who Lost His Way, or you know somebody that loves that story, tonight is for night. Tonight is their night. Tonight is the night for you and your friends. And we're going to talk about The Puppy Who Lost His Way. And we're going to talk about when it's time to get off that porch and find that dog. All right, so let's jump right in. We got the pleasantries out of the way. Of course, let me make mention that the games should be active. Of course, if you're new here and you're following along just by being here and chatting, you're going to earn points. You'll be able to gamble those points and move up the leaderboard. But eventually, you'll have a tough decision to make. Do you want to hang on to those points, or do you want to redeem those points for the ability to control the host in some way? So more on that later. But let's jump right in, and I want to get going because there's a lot to cover. And I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody during my spiel. So I'll just take a quick scroll back. Snoopy, how's it going? Oh, very, very, very happy birthday. I want everybody, birthday cakes in the chat. Happy birthday, Snoopy. Hope you've had a wonderful, wonderful day. And I believe, was it Coaster Mom? Was there a birthday in your household as well? So let's make sure we get a bunch of cakes up there for all the birthdays today. Awesome sauce. Now it's time for business. And I'm going to throw a question out there. Yes, Coach, are you asking me a question, or are you just saying Sam? Hey, CeeLo, what's going on? Today is hubby's B-Day. Well, happy hubby birthday to him. Lisa T, welcome in. All right. CeeLo, you're here for the Preds game? All right, I'll keep you updated on the Preds game. All right. So does anybody know, typo, does anybody know the first television series that our good friend Adam Sandler appeared in? I'd be very curious if anyone knows, because I didn't know this. So want to see if anybody knows. And while you're thinking about what was the first TV show that Sandler did appear in, just for reference, as we are celebrating him, Sandler was born September 9th, one of the best months, and not just because my birthday is in September. September 9th, 1966, in Brooklyn, New York. He came to us. So he is Jewish, and his parents was a nursery school teacher and an electrical engineer. So a nice little makeup there that he comes with. Not SNL, but I see Snoopy, Lisa T. Yeah, a couple of you there got it. The Crosby Show. Yes, the Sidney Crosby Show. The Cosby Show. He played the character of Smitty, and that was his first television appearance. Pretty amazing. That was from 1987 to 1988, going back just a little bit. And then, of course, his first movie appearance, and I didn't know this either. His first appearance was in 1989. Yes, CeeLo, he was Theo's friend. That is correct. He was Theo's friend. Hey, Lori, welcome in. Sean Scheer. So I'm probably totally not pronouncing that correct, but welcome in. So Going Overboard, it was the first movie that he was in. And in case you're wondering what on earth was Going Overboard, I don't remember that. Neither did I, but it had a pretty stellar cast. So Going Overboard was Adam Sandler, Billy Bob Thornton, Billy Zane. You know, those are some pretty huge names, right? So I got to go back and I got to go watch this at some point. Sam will be, you are the best YouTuber. Why, thank you. Appreciate it. Trip Billy, what's up? Welcome in. Here, we're going to throw that up there. But yeah, so this movie, Adam Sandler, Billy Bob Thornton, Billy Zane, what a huge cast, Going Overboard. So I didn't remember that. So I'm going to have to go back and watch that. Of course, after Going Overboard, there were a few other specials he appeared in, so a made-for-TV movie, and we're going to kind of skip over those. Then there was another movie he was in 1991, and this one I didn't know at all. I had no idea. It's called Shakes the Clown. Does anybody in the chat remember Shakes the Clown? Because this totally caught me off guard. I was like, this makes sense because Shakes the Clown, in one of the pictures, I wonder if I can grab that picture and put it up here real quick. What are the odds I can do that? Let's see if I can get this up real quick, because Shakes the Clown looks oddly familiar to a clown we would have seen in some of his later movies, which we're going to get to. So can I put this up here? Let's see if this will work. Here's the clown. Shakes the Clown. Looks really, really, really like the clown from Billy Madison. So I thought that was kind of interesting as I was looking through here. Again, didn't know this movie at all. This was a movie starring Bobcat Goldthwait as Shakes the Clown. And who doesn't like some Bobcat, right? Bobcat was amazing. Bobcat always cracks us up, Police Academy and whatnot. So this was something he did along with Julie Brown. And they had as well Robin Williams and Kathy Griffin, Jack Gallagher. Again, so huge names. And this had the one and only Adam Sandler. So again, no idea what this movie was. I have to go back and check it out. Thank you very much, sir, for the good luck. Appreciate it. But then we get into some more familiar movies, some things we may have known a little bit. After Shakes the Clown, there was a very famous movie that he was a part of called Coneheads. And Coneheads was one of those, I don't want to say forgotten treasures, because it certainly was not a forgotten treasure. But of course, with Dan Aykroyd, Jane Curtin, Eddie Griffith, some big names in comedy, Sinbad, Phil Hartman. Oh, Phil Hartman. I mean, talk about a underrated comedic genius, right? Phil Hartman. But Adam Sandler had a piece of that along with David Spade. So very, very interesting. That's right. You're going to die, clown. So this movie, Coneheads, I remember watching it back in the day, and Coneheads wasn't great, but I think there were some big relationships made in that movie. Of course, we move forward in 1994 to Mixed Nuts. I can't speak. I vaguely remember the movie Mixed Nuts. Again, a huge, huge cast. Was there a shimmy? Coaster Mom, did you shimmy me already? I wasn't prepared for shimmy. Let me take a look back. And for those of you that are watching and thinking, what on earth does that mean? Well, you have the ability to redeem and make the host do some things. And sure enough, I see a shimmy. All right, Coaster Mom. Here's the Sandler shimmy. The Sandler shimmy. When you redeem your points, you get to make the host do ridiculous things. There we go. Shona, what's going on? What's going on? The price is wrong. That's right. We're going to get there. But this movie, now I've lost my place. Mixed Nuts. Steve Martin, Robert Klein, Juliette Lewis, Rob Reiner, Liev Schreiber, Adam Sandler, Rita Wilson, Jon Stewart. Again, big names. Gary Shandling. So huge comedic names in here. Again, I think in the early days of Sandler, really honing the relationships and continuing to build. Host, is that why you took all my points? Yes, Triton. No, I'm just kidding. Now, of course, after Mixed Nuts, we got into probably the biggest breakout movie that Sandler had. One of the biggest by far that we remember him for. And that is, of course, in 1995, Billy Madison. Now, Billy Madison, it's one of those movies that you can watch today over and over and over again and laugh the whole time. That was weird. I just heard this strange beep and I don't know what it was. Hopefully it didn't beep through with you guys. But Billy Madison, sorry, I had a brain freeze for a second. Billy Madison was such a classic that you'd watch it and at the time you laugh hysterically because you think, I did half of these things. I was a goofball like this. And it makes you realize, like, it's such a relatable character, even though he's this, hugely wealthy, bum that doesn't have to do anything and has to go back through school. Everybody can relate to the antics that he went through. And some of the greatest lines of all time really came out of this movie. And there were so many. Like, I'm going to go, one of my favorites. When you remember towards the end of the movie, and he's in the school, and there's all the other lines that lead up to this. But remember when he's at the podium and he gets asked the question about the Industrial Revolution. I forget the exact wording of the question of what is the Industrial Revolution and what does it mean to you? Something like that. And the quote, I love it. He says, okay, the Industrial Revolution to me is just like the story I know called The Puppy Who Lost His Way. The world was changing and the puppy was getting bigger. You see, the puppy was like industry, and that they were both lost in the woods, and nobody, especially the little boy, society, knew where to find him, except that the puppy was a dog. But industry, my friends, was the revolution. And then, nib high football rules. It was so classic, right? It means absolutely nothing, but was awesome. Or what about, hey, look, everybody, Billy peed his pants. Of course I peed my pants. Everybody my age pees their pants. It's the coolest. Really? Yes, you ain't cool unless you pee your pants. Right? How many people have at some point recited a pee your pants line? Right? Or the conversation between O'Doul. Hey, Brian K., what's going on? No worries. Never have to apologize about being late, my friend. Never. What about the conversations between Billy and O'Doul, right? The whole time, O'Doyle rules, O'Doyle rules. Well, how about when O'Doyle was like, Mortal Kombat on Sega Genesis is the best video game ever. And then Billy says, I disagree. Mortal Kombat is a good game, but I think Donkey Kong is the best game ever. Donkey Kong sucks. You know something? You suck. Oh, it was so awesome. So awesome. Like all these just funny little bits of dialogue outside of the traditional lines. And of course, when we talk about Sandler, we can't pass over the opportunity to mention Chris Farley. Right, Chris Farley, such a good supporting cast member in the few little roles he's played. But again, Chris Farley was something else, a comedic genius. So I just wanted to give our version of a little shout out as Chris Farley because he was the best. I love Chris Farley so much. That's right, Chris Farley as the bus driver was awesome. He was awesome. Yeah, of course, drunk Billy, always with the penguin, is the best. It's too damn hot for a penguin just to be walking around here. I gotta send him back to the South Pole. Oh, the penguin. The drunk penguin was amazing. What about his suntan lotion with the happy face? The suntan lotion was so good. And whoops, he's playing with the suntan lotion. He goes, suntan lotion is good for me. You protect me. Like Billy Madison, there's so many outside of the normal lines. The dodgeball scenes when he gets in the yard, he's whipping down the ball at the little kids. And that scene, the dodgeball, really, for me, was great because growing up, when I was a teenager, I was a camp counselor. And of course, what did we play at camp all the time was dodgeball. And of course, it was all the staff who were going extra hard, So seeing the dodgeball scenes was just so funny. Always cracked me up. Always cracked me up. So Billy Madison was really his jump off point. And it was also the end of his SNL run, right? When we look back at Saturday Night Live, really went from 90 to 95. And Billy Madison was really the end of his run there. But that's where his career took off. He was good there. And some of the things he did on SNL with his music and whatnot was spectacular. And that when Sandler or when your son comes to you at some point and says, Daddy, I got to play this song. It's Adam Sandler. It's so funny. And he plays for you at a medium pace. Suddenly it's not so funny, but inside you're actually chuckling really hard. So when we had those moments as little kids listening to his music, and now the next generation is, it's pretty funny. It is pretty funny for sure. Hey, what's up, NHL Season Reports? Yes, we will be doing a Leaf stream. Our next Leaf stream is going to be Saturday night versus the Blues. So you definitely want to come and check it out, Saturday night versus the Blues. I don't typically do the West Coast games because Misa get really tired. I can't stay up. But yeah, it's definitely we'll be doing Leaf games Saturday nights for sure. Thanks for coming in, NHL Season Reports. Appreciate it. So after SNL, then he comes to one of my favorite movies, which I love, and it has even more classic lines, and that is Happy Gilmore. Happy Gilmore. I could watch Happy Gilmore all day, every day, and especially coming after Billy Madison, to see that follow-up kind of a year later in Happy Gilmore was just insane. And of course, you get the infamous scene now of Happy Gilmore and Bob Barker, coming to fisticuffs on the fairway, and he's like, You like that, old man? You want a piece of me? Bob Barker, I don't want a piece of you. I want the whole thing. And of course, leading to the famous beatdown and the price is wrong. I can't say it. Host, can we redeem our points if you sing Sloppy Joe Lunch Lady? Sloppy Joe, Sloppy Joe. I don't remember the actual words, but yeah. Oh, the lunch lady was awesome. That, you know what? She was frightening as a lunch lady. Sloppy Joe. Oh man, that's too funny. Yeah, Happy Gilmore. He's just learning. He's driving. He says, "Oh man, that was so much easier than putting. I should just try to get the ball in the hole on one shot every time." And as a golfer, I don't know how many of you guys in the chat golf. It's so funny to see, with the little wood, old school wood kind of drivers, and how everybody at the driving range is like doing their thing, and he just steps up and he's like, "Who can out drive the golf ball whacker guy?" It's so funny. Oh man. Of course, again, some of the classic dialogue lines. Golf requires goofy pants and a fat ass. You should talk to my neighbor, the accountant. Probably a great golfer. Huge ass. So good. And there's so many more. Like when you watch the movie, almost every line in there is classic, right? With Shooter McGavin, and Shooter, what a great character. What a great character. Shooter McGavin. Shooter. And he says, "You're in big trouble, pal. I eat pieces of like you for breakfast." And Happy Gilmore, "You eat pieces for breakfast?"
All right.
Like he says it so nonchalantly and casually. It's amazing. It is amazing. Oh gosh, so funny. Of course, when he says to Shooter, because in golf, if you're not a golfer, usually you wear bright colored clothes, flashy clothes. Hey, if I saw myself in clothes like that, I'd kick my own ass. Oh, classic. That's right. Where did I see Pierce? $50, I can hit it over the highway. Oh no. Oh, Triton, you're not. Are you doing that? Did you just do it? I think you did, Triton. Hey, Sam, you did. Triton, you redeemed a floss. Oh, Triton. All right. So I owe Triton a floss. One of the other favorite lines I like, I'm going to try and do this with my headset on, but I can't move away too far. One of my favorite lines, whoops. I don't have a lot of room here. Okay, there you go, Triton. Next time I'll try and get more room. That's right, Trip Billy, Chubbs. It's all in the hips, Josh. Josh, that holds true for hockey, right? It's all in the hips. He goes to that mini golf. Who wouldn't kill to go to a mini golf course like they played in the movie? That was probably one of the best mini golf courses I've ever seen in my life. That's right, Coach. What? Friends don't listen to Endless Love in the Dark? Yeah, I totally messed up that one. Or when she hits the shot and he goes, "Whoa, talk about your all-time worst backfires." Like there were so many good lines. Or when he smashes the beer bottle, no, what was it? Oh my gosh, I can't think of it now off the top of my head. You just may. Why don't you go eat some hay? That whole speech, that whole rhyme, the way he just wraps it off, so good. Yeah, just ask Hasek. And of course, the guy at the end that Shooter hires to take down Happy, and he's running around going, "Jackass, jackass." So classic. And of course, who can't forget the big guy that had the nail in the side of his head? Oh man, so funny. Or the "Grandma, I think I just killed the Mista lady." Mista. And of course, Ben Stiller with his appearance there. Such a classic character for such small screen time. Yeah, meet us on the ninth green at the ninth. It's a secret of the pros. That's right. Oh, like so many so many spectacular lines, and it just keeps going and going and going. It really was a genius movie. From that, there was another movie that was released shortly thereafter that, Mr. Larson, that's right, Mr. Larson. So after Happy Gilmore, he released a movie that had probably a little bit of a flop. I enjoyed it. It didn't have nearly or any memorable kind of one-liners that we've become accustomed to. But you remember Bulletproof. Bulletproof with Damon Wayans, where Damon Wayans was the cop or the detective, and Sandler, gets arrested and he has to bring him in. Again, not a great movie by any means, but with James Caan as well. I enjoyed it. It was a fun movie. Sandler actually had to do a little bit of acting, couldn't just act like a drunk kind of hangout type of guy. And it didn't do well. But again, it's one of those that I enjoy, and I can kind of watch it really anytime. But yeah, he was an ex-con. That's right. He was working for a mob boss or something like that, and he got him. Wayans used the evidence being undercover, and then he had to take Sandler in. It just wasn't a great movie, but it was still fun, and people don't really forget that. Check the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma. Oh no, Eleanor getting in on the shimmy parade. All right, Eleanor, here you go. So we're not going to spend too much time on Bulletproof, because the next movie that came out, it's really weird to talk and do this. The next movie that came out after Bulletproof is probably one of our favorite movies with Dina and I, and that is The Wedding Singer. What an unbelievable movie. If you're an 80s fan, which I think most of us are, you combine the life in the 80s with Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore, and you get possibly one of the greatest love stories of all time. John Lovitz was in there as well. So many great people kind of poking in. Of course, Kevin Nealon in there, Billy Idol making an appearance. And just what an awesome story, right? You had what was her name? Ellen Doe as Rosie, who he gives piano lessons to. Oh, let me get your payment. And she puts meatballs right in his hands. And he's, oh, take a bite. I want to see you enjoy them. It's the best part. Right? Just such a great movie. And of course, starting the relationship where we see between Sandler and Barrymore in more movies to come down the road. But what a fantastic movie The Wedding Singer was. The music was so good. It was just really a sweet movie. Moving on from The Wedding Singer, he had an uncredited role in Dirty Work, but we don't need to really talk about Dirty Work. But then we come into the next kind of big hit. So Bulletproof, a little bit of a downer. Thank you, Coaster Mom. Little bit of a downer with Bulletproof, but a huge hit with The Wedding Singer. And then all of a sudden we get Bobby Boucher in The Waterboy. And The Waterboy, I forgot. Sorry, there were some lines from The Wedding Singer I had that I wanted to, what did I do? Here we go. Some of the lines from the Wedding Singer. All right, remember, alcohol equals puke equals smelly mess equals nobody likes you. Great line from The Wedding Singer. Julia Gulia, so her name's going to be Julia Gulia. So funny. Oh yeah, the song. Remember the song that he sings at the end of The Wedding Singer? I know I'm kind of backtracking here, but as so nice. He gets on, Billy Idol. So, oh, we have a guest who wants to sing, and that song with some of the lyrics. I want to make you smile whenever you're sad, carry you around when your arthritis is bad. All I want to do is grow old with you. I'll get your medicine when your tummy aches, build a fire if the furnace breaks. Such a cool song, like such a bizarre love song, but it was so awesome. Yeah, I was going to try and sing it, but that's not happening. Not happening. And was it The Wedding Singer? No, I don't think it was The Wedding Singer. I was thinking of something else. I'm just fast forwarding. Okay, Waterboy. Let's get back on track with The Waterboy. This movie was amazing. And I think The Waterboy may have been the first Adam Sandler movie I showed Jacob to introduce him to Sandler. So funny. Now that's what I call high quality H2O. It was awesome, right? She showed me, and then I liked them too. That's right. That's right. What a bizarre character, right? To create this character, little girls are the devil. Yeah, Mama always told me to come up with this character, and this is out of the realm, like so different than anything he's done before, right? And of course, he has that big fight with his mama. Everything is the devil to you, Mama. Well, I like school and I like football, and I'm going to keep doing them both because they make me feel good. I don't know how many people have said they like going to school because it makes them feel good, but all right. And by the way, Mama, alligators are ordinary because of their medulla oblongata. And I like Vicky, and she likes me back. And she showed me her, and I like them too. Oh, such a great character. The accents, he did such a spectacular job. And it was just funny, right? When he pictures the opposing players with their heads and the shrinking or changing, and then he goes and just tackles them. Some of those hits were awesome. So fierce. Waterboy was just, again, back to his roots, back to a fun movie. Then came an interesting time for Sandler. And I think many of you guys will agree. And I'm not really, I have mixed feelings on this. Now, we're kind of getting to the end of the 90s. And, with Big Daddy, I'm not really sure with Big Daddy how I feel about it. I've seen the movie many times. Hey, Zippy in the house. What's going on, Zippy? I'd be curious what you guys think of Big Daddy. If you gave it a kind of a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Big Daddy, to me, it was a real serious role. They tried to put some comedy in there. But I was like confused if I should be laughing or not laughing, It was just a weird movie. MJ, you like Big Daddy? Yeah. Scuba Steve, that's right. This is the introduction of Scuba Steve in Big Daddy. I got so confused watching it, right? In one of the quotes from Big Daddy, having a kid is great, as long as his eyes are closed and he's not moving or speaking. Yeah, Brian Kerr didn't really care. Yeah. Give him all the easy ones. Yeah, Big Daddy was just so yeah, here's one. I had a mother lined up for him, but she's paying the Partridge Farm guy. The kid won't stop peeing and throwing up. He's like a Cocker Spaniel. Yeah, like it was just weird, right? For me, it put me in a weird place. But then after, and this is where he kind of had a weird kind of time in his career, in my opinion, right? Big Daddy, wasn't a huge fan. He did an uncredited voice on Deuce Bigalow, which I love Deuce Bigalow. Well, I should say I love Deuce Bigalow. I crack up every time I watch Deuce Bigalow. Sometimes it's a late night movie we'll put on. Deuce Bigalow, surprisingly, I think is actually on Disney Plus under the Stars category, if I remember correctly. But yeah, quite enjoyed Deuce. And then after Deuce Bigalow came Little Nicky. And again, I wasn't really sure. I wanted to like Little Nicky so much, but I was like, I felt like he was trying too hard. Like when he says he has to the girl, that her kid wearing the same size shirt. Yeah, that's right. That's right. I do remember that. But Little Nicky was just kind of, I don't know. trying way too hard. Again, just doing something outside the box, but just didn't hit home with me at all. In one of the lines in Little Nicky, "Can I wash my winky in your kitchen sinky?" All right. Oh no, Triton, you did not. You did not just disco me. Did it go through? It did go through. Oh, son of a gun. I thought I would make it through. I was doing so well. All right. All right, disco. Yeah. All right. Triton. And actually, this disco is perfect. You'll notice whenever I do disco, I like to say disco a lot. And I'll tell you why in a few minutes. So here's your disco. Ready? Disco, 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 disco chop, the wave, disco, disco. Oh yeah, disco, disco. There you go. I hear the peanut gallery laughing in the background, and I don't know if they're laughing at me or laughing at somebody else. They're laughing at me. Thank you for the confirmation that you're laughing at me. Release the Slayer fans. That's right. I think disco to ABBA. Gosh, they're killing themselves back here. So yeah, Little Nicky, in my opinion. Then there was, and I forgot about this. He has a credit in The Animal with Rob Schneider, and you could tell already this is where a big relationship right between Sandler and Schneider are blooming. Right, The Animal, Ed Asner in there. I don't really remember this movie all that much. Zippy, full body shot disco. One day, Zippy, the first time I think I did disco. No, it wasn't disco. It was, we did the Running Man on our Christmas episode. I had to move furniture to make room to actually break it down. But yeah, I'm going to skip over The Animal because I don't really remember it. And, it was really more so Schneider. And then we get to, again, now we're in the early 2000s. And here's a movie I really don't remember all that much, except I started watching it and it was way too serious for me to be thinking about Adam Sandler in this kind of a role. And that was Punch Drunk Love. So I'd be curious in your chat again, was Punch Drunk Love a thumbs up or a thumbs down? Very curious what you guys felt about Punch Drunk Love. Because I had a hard time getting into it. It was just way too serious. For me, I mean, he was good, right? He came out and he portrayed a real kind of dramatic role, and I think that was what I had a really hard time with, is because I know him as the goofball. Bless you, the goofball who likes to have fun and all this stuff, and then now he comes out with, this movie that was just way too serious. Tiffany, you liked it. It was different. He did well. Yeah, I think that was my problem. It was just different, and I wasn't prepared for different in that role. Josh, you like Punch Drunk Love? Okay. Oh, you lived Punch Drunk Love. All right. So yeah, that was Punch Drunk Love. Hearing lines like, "I have a love in my life. It makes me stronger than anything you can imagine." Like, just not a Sandler type of line, right? You can go to places in the world with pudding. That's, yeah, not funny. I should have edited some of these before. After Punch Drunk Love, then it starts to get back on another uptick, right? Again, pulling out all the stops, and Sandler's got to be one of the hardest working guys in Hollywood, right? Because every year he had one or two things coming out. So following Punch Drunk, we had Mr. Deeds. And Mr. Deeds was a funny movie. Again, a weird topic in Mr. Deeds, but it was really, really funny. And he did a good job. It's not one that I go back and watch often. Here from Mr. Deeds. It's hard to soar with the eagles when you're surrounded by turkeys. How true. What a good line. I guarantee you some coach in some locker room has used that line before. I have an uncle that's nice. Yeah, he died. Yeah, like it was such an out there movie. And wasn't that the one he had the foot thing and he was stabbing the fireplace poker in his foot and freaked out the butler? He was it was a funny movie, but just an odd movie. Yeah. I promise to love you for 50 years more, even when your bosom sag down to the floor. Like such funny lines. But that movie kind of helped get him back, right? Punch Drunk was up and down, and then Mr. Deeds helped bring him back from kind of the animal and Little Nicky. And then, of course, what do we get following Mr. Deeds? Actually, the same year, holy moly, in 2002, he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 films that he was a part of. And this one we actually watched, I think, over Christmas time together, was 8 Crazy Nights. And 8 Crazy Nights, when this first came out, I was like, oh my God, Sandler's doing a Hanukkah movie. This is going to be epic. And then I heard, oh, it's an animated movie. How is that going to work? That's going to be really weird. And then, oh, it's not a child animated movie. It was hysterical. And that's one, 8 Crazy Nights is one where you can always go back and watch it. It's always worth some laughs. And again, it's just out there, right? He's different. And you had the old man, I forget his name, but he was the referee, the really old man that was trying to mentor and bring Sandler around. Such a funny character. He did a couple shorts after 8 Crazy Nights. Then he got into The Hot Chick with what's his name again? Rob Schneider. Wasn't a huge fan of The Hot Chick, but it was funny. Jacob, are you willing to show me 8 Crazy Nights? Yeah, I could probably show you 8 Crazy Nights. Oh, Coaster Mom dropping the freeze. All right, here we go, Coaster Mom. That was a long one, it felt like. Whitey Duvall. There it is. Thank you, Pierce. Whitey Duvall. What a fun character. I wonder who would play Whitey Duvall if in real life. Who would be the best actor to portray Whitey and his sister Eleanor? Such a good character. And he was coming out of The Hot Chick. Oh, then we have his next film moving into 2003, starring the Joker himself, Jack Nicholson, Anger Management. Anger Management coming out in April. What a funny movie. This was so bizarre because we all have anger issues, right? And this was everything that will go wrong or could go wrong, will go wrong movie. And again, some big names, Kevin Nealon, and now we start to see some trends, right? Kevin Nealon appearing in almost all of his movies. Woody Harrelson is in there. Marissa Tomei is in there. But what a duo between Nicholson and Sandler and how they kind of worked off each other was awesome. Just so much fun, right? And really helped bring back, bring the Sandman back. And I quite enjoyed Anger Management. Let's see. I'm going to skip over a couple of things here because I want to. Yeah, in Europe, it's not considered unusual for 3 or 4 men to share a bed. That's why I'm proud to be an American. Like such good, again, great lines. The good song, I Feel Pretty, So Pretty, between Sandler and Nicholson. Great. And then, following that movie, and I'm going to start to pick up the pace here because I know there's still a few more to go through, and I want to move through. So after Anger Management, there were a couple shorts he did and whatnot, and it comes to, again, probably Dina's one of her favorite movies of all time, because I know she puts it on all the time, is 50 First Dates. 50 First Dates, which sees us reuniting with Drew Barrymore, and Sandler. And of course, you got Schneider in there again. You got Aykroyd in there. Sean Astin is in there. But really, Drew Barrymore and Sandler rekindling their relationship. What a fantastic movie. Really, really is a sweet movie. Again, such a tough subject, right, to take on with somebody who's in a horrific accident and is reliving, the same life over and over and over. Hi, I'm Tom. Hi, I'm Tom. And we've seen that character Tom appear in several other movies later where he just kind of pokes in for a minute. So we start to see a lot of the repeating trends, but such a sweet movie. Really, really nice. And I quite enjoyed it as well. I shouldn't say that too loud, but I do really, really enjoy kind of 50 First Dates. Then we get into kind of another, I want to see, were there any good lines that I had here from 50 First Dates? Some songs. No. Then we get into Spanglish. And this is another one. What was your guys' take on Spanglish? Is that a thumbs up or a thumbs down? I don't think I watched the entire movie through, so I'm not a good judge. But another really kind of serious role for Sandler. But Spanglish was, something about it. It just didn't do it for me. It didn't get me, didn't entice me to really go out and watch it. So I'd love for your guys' opinions on what you thought of Spanglish. I think it's different, more about the family. Yeah, and again, kind of like Punch Drunk, where it's not as quirky, as goofball-y, tries to be a little bit more serious. Trip Billy with the thumbs down. I had a hard time with that, but luckily after Spanglish, we got one of the greatest sports movies of all time, following The Waterboy in 2005 with the remake of The Longest Yard. And the Longest Yard had such a huge cast, right? Burt Reynolds in there. We finally start to see Sandler back with Chris Rock. We got Nelly in there, Michael Irvin, Terry Crews, Bill Goldberg. There were a bunch of wrestlers in this movie, actually. I think Steve Austin was in there. Kevin Nash was in there. So this was a cool movie, right? I had not seen the original Longest Yard, but coming up with this and this cast was so entertaining and so good. And there were just so many familiar faces, right? He just did a really, really, really good job. It was about, for anyone who hasn't seen it, he's the football player who kind of fixes the game and, ends up going to jail and plays in this jail league. It was just crazy. But such a good movie. It was, Christina G. It was. We are going to get there very, very soon. So that was Longest Yard. Host, don't forget you. Another floss. Oh my gosh. I got to move this other window open so I can see when these redemptions come in. All right. I'm going to move it right here in front of me. All right. Another floss. Okay. Let me make me get up. I'm going to take the headset off this time, so don't pull everything down. Here. I'm going to tilt this down a little bit. Here you get, just for Zippy, you get a little bit more full body floss. There you go, with a little finger point at the end. Oh boy. The things we do. If you're in here and you're laughing and having a good chuckle at how ridiculous the host is, just make sure you're hitting that like button and hitting that subscribe button as well. Oh, okay. So that was Longest Yard. We then got into, the second Deuce Bigalow. We're not going to spend a lot of time talking about the second Deuce Bigalow. And then we get a little bit into some uncharted territory. We know Sandler likes to be original, he likes to be creative, and he likes to do things different. We then find ourselves in 2006 with Click. Now, Click was, for me, I found this tough to watch. I loved the concept. I love that he's in there with Kate Beckinsale and Hasselhoff and Christopher Walken. We got Henry Winkler back, Sean Austin back, Joni Hill in there. Some big names, but it was just tough to watch for me. It was a good movie. It was an entertaining movie, but it was just hard. And I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but I just found Click was very tough to watch. And it's one of those, it's not a go-to for me. I don't go back and watch Click, all that often. Even if it's on TV, I may pass it by. We're going to skip over the next couple, but that brings us to one of the more controversial films that Sandler has put out. And it's actually not all that controversial, but for its time, I think it was. And it's not all that old. We're still in 2007. I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry. And I actually really, really enjoyed it. He did, Pierce. He did kill that movie, Click. I had a tough time watching it. But yeah, I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry, with Kevin James coming into the picture, Jessica Biel, again, Dan Aykroyd back in there, Ving Rhames is in there, Steve Buscemi, who we've seen in a number of movies, is in there, Nick Swardson, who I think has been in every movie since. We also see Dave Matthews starting to show up in the Sandler films now. I think Matthews has killed every movie he's in, every character he plays. Lance Bass in there. Really, really good characters. And this was a tough movie, for its time, where, you're looking at, a tough situation where, Kevin James loses his wife, and, there's insurance issues, and he has to kind of fake or portray that him and Sandler are married and a couple in order to still claim his insurance. And it had such a powerful message for its time. And I think it still holds up today. And it was such a strong movie. I really quite enjoyed it. I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry is one of those that when it's on, I can watch it almost any time. Such a fun movie with a serious topic. After I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry comes into 2008, and now we're getting into what I like to call kind of the rebirth era of Sandler. I Now Pronounce You Husband and Husband, You May Kiss the Husband. This kind of rebirth era of Sandler, the next generation, right? Starting with I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry. Then you have one of my favorite movies of all time. And I think I put this movie on almost every single night when I can't sleep. You Don't Mess with the Zohan. And I'm not just saying that because he plays kind of a soldier in the Israeli military. But he is so funny and so good. And I love that, he wants to come to America because he's tired of fighting and all the war, and he just wants to cut hair, right? And it's overly, he's an overly promiscuous sexual hairdressing character who, is trying to help other people. And it's just such a funny movie. It is such a funny movie. I love the Zohan. And this is where, when it comes to the disco, in Zohan, everything is disco. And, if you've ever been kind of overseas into the Israel area, I don't know if it's like this all over Europe, but at least in Israel, they don't say going to the club or we're going to dance. Everything is, let's go to the disco. Let's go disco. And so whenever I do my little discos, I'm always saying disco. It's because when I watch Zohan and they say disco so much, it sticks in my head. But yeah, don't mess with the Zohan. One of my all-time favorites of his. And again, Nick Swardson in there, Emmanuel, I don't know how to pronounce your last name, Shariqui, Rob Schneider in there, Dave Matthews in there yet again, Michael Buffer, such a fun cast, Kevin Nealon in there, Chris Rock. So now we're getting all those repeating characters. And don't mess with the Zohan. If you haven't seen it, highly, highly recommend it. I don't recall Zohan. Yeah, you definitely need to see it. It's a must watch. And then I should go to my quotes because I keep forgetting to go to this other page with all these, all the quotes. I get so excited. Yeah, I just want to make people silky smooth. He's so funny. Such good lines. Then came an interesting movie, Smooth and Silky. But Paul Mitchell, no, Paul Mitchell, I will not come to you. Well, Paul Mitchell was the man back then, right? One of the fun movies and probably one of the most kid-friendly movies he's done is Bedtime Stories. And I don't know if everybody here has seen Bedtime Stories because I don't think it got great reviews. But it's one I remember watching the first time and I was like, this is brilliant. What a great movie. And then we actually watched it with the kids and they loved it. Like it was such a nice introduction to the Sandler kind of comedy. We had Sandler, Kerry Russell, Courtney Cox, Guy Pearce, Russell Brand in there, Lucy Lawless. So again, a nice cast. Nick Swardson again. And here's a story of a man who has an imagination. And as he's telling these stories, bedtime stories to the kids, they start in a way coming through in real life. Oh, another shimmy. Okay. All right. Here we go. Shimmy time. It's the Sandler shimmy. Shimmy, shimmy, shimmy. Whew. All right, there we go. I need a drink. Thank you for all the likes. 25 likes. That's awesome. If you haven't hit the like, please make sure to give it a boop. So yeah, Bedtime Stories and a freeze too. Oh boy. Okay, here's the freeze. All right. There's a freeze. I think I have those covered off. Whew. Yeah, Bedtime Stories, really, really funny movie. Then now we're getting into it, right? That rebirth is continuing to build. Now we get into Grown Ups, right? Grown Ups was probably one of his best, I'll call them modern age, but it's not really modern age. But Grown Ups was just such an unbelievable movie. Oh, I skipped over Funny People. I don't remember Funny People, so I'm going to continue to skip over Funny People because Grown Ups, I think, was way better. Grown Ups was such a good movie, right? Such an ensemble cast. That's right. I want to get chocolate wasted. Again, the writing in Grown Ups was so unbelievable, and the cast of characters. Again, if you haven't seen it, you got Sandler, Selma Hayek, Kevin James, Chris Rock, David Spade, Rob Schneider, Maya Rudolph, Steve Buscemi, Colin Quinn, Tim Meadows. Such a fantastic cast. And again, such a nice, heartfelt family story. You know, a nice coming of age, coming together. Yeah, the blue dye in the pool. That's right. And they go to the water park. Are you peeing in the pool? No, are you making a sissy? No. And apparently there were stories when this came out. I think I read somewhere they started the movie with the basketball scenes, and a lot of the people were blown away about how good Sandler actually was with the basketball. And when they were between shots and they were just shooting around, he was hitting everything. And of course, over the years, you know, you see he plays all the time, and there's clips of him just, you know, going into a gym and playing with people, and he is a really good basketball player. So that's Grown Ups. Grown Ups was awesome. And then again, another one of my all-time personal favorites is Just Go With It. Just Go With It. Such a great movie. Now seeing Sandler with Jennifer Aniston. You got Brooklyn Decker in there, Nicole Kidman in there, Nick Swardson again, Dave Matthews. Dave Matthews with an unbelievably hysterical character in this. Kevin Nealon is back. Bailey Madison. I really, really, really enjoyed Just Go With It. And again, this is one late at night when we can't sleep. We put on because it's just classic, right? The scene at towards the end of the movie when Sandler and Aniston are at dinner with Matthews and Nicole Kidman, and they do the hula contest, and then they have to do the whole coconut thing, moving the coconut from their bellies to their mouths without using their hands. So funny and such a classic movie. So I highly recommend it if you haven't seen Just Go With It. It's a funny story and it's just a good movie. And the chemistry between Sandler and Jennifer Aniston is unbelievable. It is so good and so super, super funny. There were so many good lines in Just Go With It that, it's hard to even recall them now. But like when he meets Dave Matthews' character the first time, Matthews introduces himself as the inventor of the iPhone, right? Or the iPad, or the iPhone. And Sandler says, "Oh, I'm an inventor too. I invented the barking hand." He goes, "Roar, roar, 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 roar," in their faces. Just so many funny things, and the lines between Aniston and Sandler, classic, just classic. Aniston was better in Office Space. Yeah, that she was pretty good in that movie too, for sure. After Just Go With It, I'm going to hop over a couple here because then after Just Go With It, I think it started to go on a little bit of a slide downhill again. And I don't even know what time it is, 9:00. So I'm going to pick up the pace just a little bit here. But, he does the voice of the monkey in Zookeeper. Zookeeper was a fun movie. Definitely worth a watch. Coaster Mom Office Space is one of my all-time faves. Absolutely. Office Space was such a good movie. So Zookeeper, Kevin James is really the star in here. Adam Sandler just does the voice, but a good movie. 2 back-to-back movies that Sandler put out that I don't think got a lot of praise, but definitely were fun movies, and I kind of enjoy them once in a while. Jack and Jill and That's My Boy. Not spectacular by any means, but Jack and Jill and That's My Boy, 2 kind of okay movies. But then after those, he comes up with another animated movie that was explosive, right? Absolutely explosive. And that's Hotel Transylvania. Of course, Hotel Transylvania has had several sequels since. But what a great movie to be a part of in that group. After Hotel Transylvania, Grown Ups 2 comes out. Of course, same cast returning for Grown Ups 2. Just as much fun. Such a good movie. And then I think it was Christina G called out earlier. We have Blended. Again, another movie we absolutely love here. We watch it all the time. Blended. Seeing Sandler once again for the third time reunited with Drew Barrymore. You got Kevin Nealon back in there, Terry Crews back in there, Bella Thorne, Joel McHale. Who else we got in here? Shaquille O'Neal, Dan Patrick. Blended is such a fun movie and such an interesting story. We usually fast forward a little bit at the beginning and get to when they get over to Africa. But so much fun in Blended. Then we see top 5. I don't know what's top 5. I don't remember this. Oh, it looks like it's something Chris Rock did that had Sandler in it. So we're going to skip over that. And then we get into more of the, again, modern age. The Cobbler, which I didn't really like. Not a big fan of The Cobbler. Men, Women, and Children. Not exactly sure what that is, but it's on his list. But we're going to skip over that. So if we skip over kind of top 5 Men, Women, and Children and The Cobbler, that brings us to Pixels. And Pixels, of the modern films that he's done, was outstanding. I remember first seeing this trailer and thought, holy cow, they're doing a video game movie. I can't believe they're doing a video game movie. And it didn't disappoint. I quite enjoyed the cast. Again, it was a huge, huge group. You know, Kevin James back in there, Peter Dinklage in there, Josh Gad, Dan Aykroyd. I'm just scrolling down the list, you know, some big, big names. And it was fun, right? You see everything getting pixelated. You got Pac-Man in there, Donkey Kong. Such a cool concept of video games coming to life. So really enjoyed Pixels. I hope they do another Pixels. I don't think at this point they will, but hey, you never know. Somebody leaving? Well, good night, whoever is leaving. Appreciate you hanging in. After Pixels, we see Hotel Transylvania 2. And then I think we start getting into a lot of the Netflix stuff, right? You got the Ridiculous Six, which wasn't great. The Do-Over, which, again, wasn't great. Sandy Wexler, which I did not like at all. So just not good movies, right? The Week Of, I hated The Week Of, I'll be honest. So really, you know, a lot of these Netflix series were not good until we get to Murder Mystery. And if you haven't watched Murder Mystery, this is a fun movie. And again, it finds Adam Sandler reunited with Jennifer Aniston. Got Luke Evans and Terrence Stamp. And this was a cool movie. It was just a fun adventure comedy. So I'm going to skip over all of those movies I mentioned before, The Ridiculous Six, The Do-Over, Sandy Wexler, all of that stuff, and go right to skip The Week Of, because it just wasn't good. Zippy, Netflix movies aren't that great in general ever. That's true, Zippy. That is true. Good point. Of course, as we were skipping through, you know, there was Hotel Transylvania 2 and Hotel Transylvania 3 in there, but I grouped them all together because they were just really, really good. But yeah, Murder Mystery, I enjoyed that. It was a fun kind of movie. And then that really brings us up to today, right? If we skip over, his most recent release was Hubby Halloween. MJ, don't have Netflix, so I have no idea what those. Yeah, it's probably better that you don't, MJ, because they weren't great. But Hubby Halloween, this was a fun movie, and a lot of people didn't like it. You know, it brings Kevin James back in, Julie Bowen is back in, Ray Liotta, Steve Buscemi, Rob Schneider, Maya Rudolph, Tim Meadows, Michael Chiklis, Kenan Thompson, Shaquille O'Neal, Ben Stiller. Like huge cast. And the fun thing about Hubby Halloween, and maybe this is a good one to, you know, if you find it streaming somewhere, maybe we do a watch party for Hubby Halloween. He has all of his past characters somehow pop up or make an appearance. So like Ben Stiller reprised his role of the kind of caretaker in not caretaker, but the nurse in Billy Madison, not Billy Madison, my God, in Happy Gilmore. Sorry, I'm getting tired. But Hubby Halloween was just fun, where they brought all of these different people in and remembering from all of his different movies. So that was pretty cool about watching it, to see all of those little things. Matrix Resurrections is a great Netflix movie. Yeah, Matrix anything is a good movie. Well, I shouldn't say that. I haven't seen the new one. And that's it, right? Hubby Halloween in 2020 was his last. He has 2 new movies that are in post-production right now coming out. One is called Spaceman, which he plays an orphan boy that's raised by his Czech grandparents to become the country's first astronaut. Not sure how this is going to come out. It's based on a book, It's an adventure drama sci-fi. So to me, it sounds okay. Here's a different movie, a different style of movie. Again, that Sandler is portraying. Is this going to be like a Punch Drunk Love or one of those other ones that we're not so into? Oh, Triton, you discoed me again. You little disco duck. Can't believe it. All right. Okay, so I owe you another disco. Hey, Francisco, what's up? Morgan, how's it going? Hope you both are doing well. You joined just in time. Triton has redeemed a disco, and it's going to be ABBA time. Oh, and Eleanor's redeeming a floss as well. Are we going to have to do a disco floss? Is that what I'm seeing here? Oh, no, it doesn't look like the floss went through. Maybe it's still on cooldown. Whew. Okay. So I will get that disco for you. Let me just go over the last kind of two movies that are here. Hustle is the other one that he has in post-production. This one is a sport comedy, and this one sounds like it could be good because this is right up his line. A washed-up basketball scout discovers a phenomenal street ball player while in Spain and sees the prospect as his opportunity to get back into the NBA. So it's going to be a basketball movie. Adam Sandler, Robert Duvall, Queen Latifah. Who else do we got in here? Ben Foster. So some interesting characters. Not a lot of his regulars are in there. And then right now they're filming Murder Mystery 2, which this actually excites me to see. So it's going to put Sandler and Jennifer Aniston back together again. So we'll have to see what they do there. And that is really his whole career. Yeah, I'd say in a nutshell, but it's been an hour and 15-minute nutshell. And I owe a disco. So let me, there's the floss. I see the floss through. So I owe a disco floss. So I'm going to take these off, and I can move out of the way. Heller spelled it wrong, so it didn't go through. Oh, it's through now. So I'm going to have to move some of this stuff. There we go. So we got space. Oh. This is what happens when you offer stuff. You have to move furniture. All right. Let's. What are we doing? We're doing the disco floss. How are we going to do this? Disco floss. All right. Disco. All right. There's your disco floss. Oh, boy. Yikes. Whew. All right. Zippy is real for sure. You have to get Zippy to do some flossing. So that's a rundown of pretty much Sandler's career. So what a pretty spectacular career it's been. And this is why I'm glad we took today and an opportunity to celebrate it all. Thank you. Because from his early days, thank you, Lisa T. No flossing for Zippy Mike. Zippy Mike, maybe we'll do a combo. You can play some ABBA on the guitar. You can shred a little ABBA, and I'll do the little moves. Is Billy Crystal hired as a consultant? That's what I want to know. I don't think so. I love Billy Crystal. City Slickers is one of my all-time favorites. But it's pretty amazing to see Sandler go from, what we talked about originally from the Cosby Show and, coneheads and airheads. Oh, did I even talk about airheads, or did I totally skip over airheads? I may have skipped over airheads. Oh my gosh. Airheads. What an amazing, amazing movie. And this is one, again, I can watch all the time with Brendan Fraser, Steve Buscemi, Chris Farley, Judd Nelson. Airheads was such a good movie, and he was such a baby in it. Such a small guy. Love Airheads. So good. I can't believe I did that. Also, what's his name is in Airheads from Seinfeld. My gosh. Let me go in here. What's his name? It's going to drive me nuts. David Arquette. That's not who I was thinking of. Why isn't his name coming up here? You know, the guy who slides in Seinfeld all the time was in UHF. My gosh. Michael Richards. There we go. Michael Richards. Such a classic movie and good music. The music in Airheads was awesome. I can't believe I forgot that. My gosh, shame on me. Skipped over Dirty Work too. Dirty Work I kind of skipped over intentionally. Kramer, that's right. I know it would be Adam Sandler and Brendan Fraser. So good together. That's when it would have been nice to see a sequel. They didn't really, back then in the 90s, they didn't really, it would have been nice to see them do a sequel to that, of what happened after they came out of prison and their success or whatnot. But it's a very fun character. But anyways, as we've talked about over the course of the evening, what an unbelievable career from the Coneheads and Airheads and Billy Madison, the Happy Gilmore, the Wedding Singer, you know, to 8 Crazy Nights and Don't Mess with the Zohan, 50 First Dates, you know, Grown Ups, so many. He's done kids movies. He's done adult movies. Well, not adult movies, but adult comedies, animation. He's done it all. He has done it all, right? Music. And of course, let's not forget the world famous Hanukkah song and all the different iterations of the Hanukkah song he did. Wait, how did I get so many points? Oh, Lisa got lots of points. Good. Lisa, you should be right on top of the leaderboard. So yeah, that is everything about Sandler, right? We talked about just his movies, but we didn't talk about all of his writing credits, right? How many of those movies that he wrote, and just by looking at it, you know, Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, Waterboy, wrote the screenplay for Big Daddy, Little Nicky, 8 Crazy Nights, Don't Mess with the Zohan, Grown Ups, Jack and Jill. He did Hotel Transylvania 2. He wrote, I didn't realize. So there's so many. And then he has a bunch of producing credits. When we look at films that he's produced, and I'll kind of start the top down. Some ones that he wasn't in, but like The Wrong Missy. I love The Wrong Missy. If you haven't watched The Wrong Missy, I highly recommend it. It's really funny with David Spade, Nick Swanson, Lauren Lepkus, Molly Sims is in there, Rob Schneider, John Farley, George Garcia. It's The Wrong Missy is a really, really, really funny movie. You know, so he's in on the producing credits there. What else do we got that he hasn't done with the producing credit? Joe Dirt 2. I never saw Joe Dirt 2. Did that actually come out? Oh, Paul Blart in Mall Cop 2. He was a producer on. Here Comes the Boom. I love Here Comes the Boom. I think every Kevin James movie Sandler has produced or had something to do with it. But yeah, Here Comes the Boom was a great movie. Paul Blart 2 was so much fun. Yeah, he's produced so many things. The House Bunny. The House Bunny was a cute little comedy with Anna Faris and Colin Hanks and Kat Dennings, Emma Stone, Catherine McPhee. Catherine McPhee was in that? Wow. Beverly D'Angelo, Rumor Willis. Again, big cast. So fun movie. Definitely worth a watch. So what I've done tonight, what we've gone through is essentially just really looked up IMDb. So if any of the movies we talked about tonight, you know, if it rings a bell and you're like, oh, I haven't seen that. And wow, I remember Sam was chatting about it. Sounds like fun. Just head over to IMDb and take a look. It's really funny. It'll jump out at you when you see it. But if you forget, you know, feel free to shoot me a message or leave a comment on the video and just say, hey, what was that movie you talked about previously? I'd love to hear more about it. You know, happy to do that. And as well, I'd like to do more of these, really focus on a particular person and jump back in time and look at kind of their works and everything they've done. So if there's anyone that you'd like to see, leave a comment. Just let me know, hey, Sam, let's talk about Eddie Van Halen. Let's talk about Michael Jackson. Let's talk about Jean-Claude Van Damme. Whatever it is, I'd love to, rather than doing one overarching topic, I'd love to just hone in and kind of go back and look at some old stuff. One of the things I want to do absolutely, William Shatner, for sure. Triton, I might have to have you as a special guest to come on and talk about William Shatner, because you probably know way more than I do about good old Bill. One thing I do want to do is one day just talk about and revisit a lot of the differences between back in the day growing up to things we have now, whether it's the way telephones were, with the rotary phones versus now, computer, everything. Just look at life back then to now. And I think that can be a lot of fun. So that's kind of what I'd like to do as well. We'll do more of these individual topics. And I think Triton is the server. Yeah, that's funny. That is funny. So we'll definitely do that. We'll definitely do a lot more of that stuff. And of course, for us, more hockey streams coming as well. So Saturday night, we'll be doing the Leafs versus the St. Louis Blues. So if you're a St. Louis fan, definitely want to check that out. And let me look real quick and just see who is the next upcoming few games we might do. So we have the Blues, we have the Islanders coming up, the Red Wings. We got March 2nd. I got to look at what that date is, but it's Leafs Sabres. So we might have to do that. We might have to get Coach on here. And then there's a couple Leaf Sabres games coming up, and there's a Leaf Predators game coming up. So we'll definitely want to do those, as well as Boston. We got Bruins coming up. So lots of Leaf games with lots of teams that I know a lot of folks in here kind of cheer for. So that will be a lot of fun. War Games. Yes, Tiffany. War Games. What a good movie. I actually just rewatched that not long ago. And while it didn't hold up as well as I thought it might or hoped it might, it was still such a fun movie. And it was so bizarre, right? Because it just starts, it just gets right in there. Yeah, what a great movie that was. I forgot all about War Games. Oh, man. That was good. I think, is that on Disney? It might be on, no, it's not on Disney Plus. It's on something. I forget where I saw it streaming. Trip Billy with the Boo, St. Louis. So yeah, that's everything I wanted to cover with you guys tonight. And we've done it, and we've done it in spades. So before we wrap up tonight, I want to throw it out there. Is there anything Adam Sandler related that you guys want to talk about, or anything you guys want to mention in the chat that maybe I've missed or glanced over? I want to make sure that everybody has a chance to kind of give their 2 cents and talk about kind of their Sandler story. Redeem freeze. Oh, you're freezing me? Oh. Okay, we'll do a freeze. Oh, Gremlins. Yes, Gremlins was awesome. Okay, here's your freeze. All right. And what I can do too, because I know we're going to wrap up in a couple minutes here, but if you're in the chat and if you have a story about Adam Sandler or a movie or something you want to say, I'd be more than happy if you don't want to type it out. If you want to come on live, I can, whoopsies, as I'm dropping things, I can shoot over the link. I can post the link. And if somebody wants to come on and tell their Sandler stories, love to open up the floor and give you guys the spotlight and have you tell your Sandler stories or memories, only if you want to. So if you do, just kind of put in the chat, maybe just type link, and I'll if anybody wants to come on, I'll drop the link, and then you can come in. Yeah, like I said, for us, Adam Sandler is kind of the go-to when we can't sleep or when we're going to bed. If it's Just Go With It or Don't Mess With the Zohan or Blended, it's kind of our rotation that we watch all the time. And of course, now that it's streaming, it's so much easier. Before, I have all the DVDs down in the basement. Did you ever watch Jeff Dunham? So I don't really watch Jeff Dunham, Triton, but I know from my past working life, when Jeff Dunham came to Kingston, Ontario, I was over there helping get set up for the show, so I got to see a little bit of his stuff. Jeff Dunham, really, really, really funny man. Really funny. Best freeze yet. Zippy Mike. Not only if we want to make it mandatory, but to come on. To be a man, make it mandatory. Yeah. No. I'll give everybody the choice. Wait a second. Zippy, are you kidding? You are kidding. Are you not kidding? Jeff Dunham is my brother. I don't know if he's kidding or not kidding. The joy of the internet. Oh, and I just realized I have Adam Sandler blocking the chats that I put up, so you can't see them. Here, let's do this. I'm going to move you over here. There you go. Now when I put up a message, there you go. Is he really? Zippy, I'm so confused. I don't know if he means it or not. So he's kidding. Okay. Because Zippy, you never know. We've had some pretty big bombs dropped on these streams. I remember there was somebody, there was a cousin or a relative of Christina G. I forget now. I think was it some type of Bon Jovi relationship that she dropped on us. And then Pete McDevitt was on one show when we were talking wrestling. If you go back and watch the wrestling stream, and Pete was like, "Oh, I just texted, so-and-so and told them to come watch your stream or drop a like." And I was like, "Really?" I think it was like Matt Hardy and Billy Gunn or something like that. So, hey, there's some big relationships that have come out on this show. Good night, Eleanor. Thanks so much for tuning in and sticking around. He shares your last name. Holy moly. Jeff Dunham is not real. It was Bon Jovi. That's right. You remember that Coaster Mom? That was like jaw-dropping. I was not expecting that. That's right. I was telling the story of how Dee caught the towel from the drummer Bon Jovi after a show here in Toronto. And she just kind of threw it out there that, "Oh, yeah, I have this relationship, this connection." I was like, what? Crazy. Awesome. All right. Well, listen, if nobody wants – Pete is the man, Lisa T. Absolutely 100%. Pete is so amazing. And we have an ad running on Pete's channel now for the next couple weeks to help bring some sports fans over to join us for our hockey chat, our hockey streams. And we'll continue doing these. We have lots more stuff on the way. Still working on this. We have a Lego stream coming up for the pirate ship. It's like 9 bags. So I think I'm putting 5 or 6 bags together first, and then we'll get together for the last couple bags. So it doesn't take 8 hours on stream. So we have a Lego stream coming up. We'll do Saturday night will be the Leaf game, and then we'll be back next Tuesday for a topic to be determined. So with all that said, I think we're ready to wind down, and I want to thank each and every one of you for hanging out, talking Sandler with us, just having a good time. I think we're at 27 likes, so if there's 3 likes out there, I'd love to see us find those 3 likes. So if you haven't booped it, go ahead and boop it. host, how is Beat Saber training coming? Triton, I'm not gonna lie, my Beat Saber game has been lacking because there's somebody else in the household who has been hogging the Beat Saber device. So the only time I get to see the headset is when it's plugged in and charging. So I'm a little rusty, but definitely need to get back in there. Yeah, Zippy, are you a Beat Saber guy? Do you dabble a little in the saber of beats? Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate that so much. Right? Yeah, Zippy, we are on the Oculus. We might, Zippy, if you're an Oculus owner, we may have to exchange usernames and get some serious multiplayer going. Jacob is kind of the Beat Saber master. There's a video of him playing Beat Saber on expert mode. It's a little choppy, but he's like killing it. And the thing is, he plays on expert while he's sitting and having side FaceTime conversations with his friends. So he is like the master Beat Saber. A tiny bit, but I do have an Oculus 1 and 2. All right, Zippy, we're gonna have to. Triton and I will get connected with you. We'll have to set up some Beat Saber multiplayer. And if anybody else out there has an Oculus and wants to get in the fun, just send a message and we'll do it up. Awesome. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. I have 2 Oculus. Oh, I have a PSVR as well. Zippy, we'll have to talk because it sounds like you're a bit of a gamer, as am I. Yes, absolutely. And yes, a 3-way competition. Absolutely. All right, guys, I hate saying goodbye because I could sit and talk with you guys all night long. But again, I appreciate all the likes. I appreciate all the subscriptions. And I appreciate the shares and inviting it out to let other people know. Said we are, on our path now to 500, which is insane. So thank you for doing your part, and we will continue to grow together. So, of course, now's the time. Why don't you just go home? Go in your home. Get in your home. Thank you all so much for all of us here at the Sam Welby 12 family. Appreciate each and every one of you. And we'll see you real soon. Have a good night, all. Zippy, CeeLo will continue this conversation of video games because we'll have to do it all up. All right, from that end, Sammy B out. Good night.